This area was kind of a no man's land. It's nothing but desert and, you know, farmland on both sides and ranches on both sides.
Yes.
But as time passed, there was drug trafficking. Let's call it what it is. And
How did you know there was drug trafficking? I mean, people say this, but people see it.
Yes, well, because sometimes the workers would find the backpacks and whatnot.
Workers
you know,
on your ranch.
Yes,
Okay.
would find those things. And so my husband would say, well, you know, if the Americans want to do drugs, let them do drugs. It's, you know, we can't be the police because in Mexico, as you know, an everyday person can't have a firearm to protect himself. All the bad people do, and certainly the military have the firearms, but not an everyday person can have a firearm to protect themselves. And we're out there in the middle of nowhere, and
That's
sometimes
scary.
with
That's
young
scary,
children,
right?
and we would have, you know, our ranch hands and everything, but nevertheless, you're at their mercy. About in 2008, when the horrific drug wars in Juarez and
So now you see this all
and
gearing up.
there
it's
wasn't
changing.
a family, from the best of families to the poorest of families, that wasn't affected one way or another. You know, if they were wealthy, they got their children kidnapped. You never see them again. So many people lost. I believe that almost every family either knew of somebody or was touched personally.
Yes.
Then when there was young women in the city of Ascension, it's a little town actually, where often we would go get supplies. There was young women that started disappearing, and so you can put two and two together that what became of these young women. And like one of the store owners, his daughter disappeared. And
Oh my
so
goodness, right.
you know, you can kind of, and it was secreto. It was, but everybody knew kind of what was going on, and that's when I think the human trafficking started really playing such a big part, because they were tightening up on the drug trafficking. I believe, I don't know, I'm not an expert. I just can tell you that.
So you're saying the drugs led to
Yes,
trafficking.
to trafficking, and
Right.
there's no boundaries in what those people do. And as I said, they're evil. So on a personal level, so then my husband had confrontations with some of these very evil people. He
How?
used to,
They're on their property? He's
on
running into
on
them?
his property,
Okay.
and he said enough is enough when that aspect came into play.
They're invading your...
And yes, and when it started being more about the human and all of the killing, there were so many murders. You just have to look at the statistics on the Mexican side. So what I'm saying to you is that we that had property, a very viable ranch or business,
ranch, right.
honorable business, all of this other came into play, and we never returned back to the ranch.
So you and the kids left, and you
we
never did.
never went back. We never went back.
But what's happening at this point is...
At this point, he had to go to trial with some of these people.
Okay.
And so then he won his case, and so when he went back to the ranch on one of those that he had to go back because we had live animals. And
So there was conflict with the
Yes,
cartels.
yes.
He brought it
Yes.
to the authorities.
Yes.
Because of that, there's all these roll-offs.
Yes.
Okay.
And so on June, it was June the 4th, he was taken against his will, and we never saw him again.
What was your husband's name?
Sergio.
So he just went missing.
Yes, I got a call at 4 o'clock in the morning, and they said, Señora, su esposo se lo llevaron contra su voluntad, and they tried to look for him, and we never had closure because we could never find him again. But we know what happened, and so like so many other families that we heard their stories, we have now our own story, and I think that this would help in that aspect, and that people stop getting exploited, and the helpless, you know, can live without a fear of, retribution. You know, I'm independent. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. But I feel that we're all American, and that having this wall might protect the human dignity of so many that have suffered and paid dearly in different ways.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I just feel that it protects everybody on both sides.
Right. We all need security. We need...
Yes, as you lock your doors at night, as you take care of your children. And, you know, here in America, we're fortunate we can bear arms. And that is something very important, because in other countries, you don't have that. And so all I'm saying to you, there's a human toll on both sides. That we have to protect the dignity of families on both sides. You know, and if there had been some protection that wouldn't happen so easily, and these are different times, and and we have to do something, is all I'm saying to you, that families have paid prices dearly on both sides.
Yes.
And that's my story.